Welcome back to McPhee Ford. Today we're taking a look at this brand new 2025 Ford Bronco, and this one here is the new base model. Now the base trim on the Bronco actually did go away for a couple of years, but it's now returned for 2025. This one here is a really special version. It's got some really cool options added to it. Now first off, the color. This is the desert sand paint, which I think looks amazing, especially in the Bronco. Definitely fits the characteristic of that, outdoorsy Bronco. You have the new base grille here, so it's this a flat black with the white lettering there. LED lights are also going to be standard on this particular one. Now it is powered by the 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine, which is the standard choice for the base trim. Now with the bumper here, standard design, no fog lights. It's going to have the exposed steel recovery points there in the bottom. Nice approach angle with your Bronco. Now move around to the side here, you'll notice a pretty special tire. So this one is equipped with that very sought after Sasquatch package. And the Sasquatch package is an off-road package, and it takes the base Bronco and really turns it up to 11. Your tires are certainly going to be the most notable with that package there. So typically your base trim does come with a steel 17-inch wheel, or actually I believe it's a 16-inch wheel, but you're going to get a nice aluminum gray finish there with the wheel. But you get huge tires. This is a 35-inch tall tire, so it's an LT 315 70/17. So massive tire, and we actually have a Territory Goodyear RT tire. Great tire there. Definitely going to be nice for more on-road and off-road conditions. But just look at the size of those tires. Definitely much larger than the standard 31-inch or 30-inch tires that would come on the base. So definitely a big upgrade there. These also sit much higher as well with that upgraded suspension. You can see here you do have that Sasquatch badging right there on the fender, and also the widened fender flares. Definitely a much larger, much wider flare than your typical Bronco. Looking at the rear tire, same size as the front. Again, it's a 35-inch tire with that 17-inch gray aluminum wheel. And now the Sasquatch package does give you that upgraded suspension. This is a bilstein suspension system, so you can see those iconic yellow shocks. Gives that definitely an increased ride height, more aggressive for off-road conditions. And they come around to the back here, full size spare mounted to the back of the swing gate. It's also where the rear view camera is going to be housed as well. You have the rear recovery point, so you have front and rear, which is great. Hardtop, as you can see here, so this is a 4-door model with that hardtop. Now let's go ahead and we'll take a look into the interior of the Bronco. Now with the base trim, you're going to get the black and gray cloth seats. Pretty straightforward design here. They are manually operated, but they're going to be extremely comfortable. You'll notice with the door panel, it's actually a pretty flat design. That is because the doors are removable. You can take off the doors, which is pretty cool, and not only the doors, but also the roof. So it's fully modular. You can take them off. In fact, you can take all 4 doors off, and you can actually store them in the cargo area, which is pretty neat. Now with the door in the entry here, you'll notice we actually don't have running boards. Now the running boards are standard on other trims, but not on the base. So you can easily add those either from the factory, or Ford makes it very easy to add aftermarket ones as well. If you want to add like a rock rail, definitely possible here. Very simple. Automatic headlight controls. You also have your parking brake, very easily accessible there. Now let's go ahead and we'll hop inside. Again, 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine. Now there's a couple of different powertrain options for the Bronco. We have the 2.3 liter, but we also have the 2.7 liter. So you want to step up to that larger powertrain, power plant. It's a V6 twin turbocharged. That's going to produce more power. But you also have the 2.3 liter like we have here. What makes this engine great is that it's also available with a manual transmission. Now this one does have the 10-speed automatic, which is a phenomenal transmission, especially for off-roading, because you have a lot of gears. Great for control and power, but you also have a 7-speed manual if you really want to take that control to the next level. That is amazing, and it is still available in the Bronco, even though the 10-speed automatic is certainly way more popular. Ford has kept it on. They're keeping it for as long as they can to definitely satisfy the manual transmission customers. That is amazing. Now let's move on to the center of the dashboard here. You'll notice this 12-inch infotainment screen. And this is a great piece of technology because it's actually standard on every single new Bronco, which is amazing. Typically, in previous years, this was reserved for the higher-end models, but it's now standard, which is great because it's going to give you that wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and a lot of great connectivity options and just ease of use. Being a larger display, it is great to have this now standard. Even the gauge cluster is also fully digital, which is again just great to have. It's nice to have that adjustability and customization very easily accessible there. Moving down from the screen, here's your climate control system. It does include the rear defrost there. You have your USB power outlets as well. Again, just nice and easy to access, lots of storage, and again, that 10-speed automatic selector right there. But one of the more important things in the Bronco is the four-wheel drive selector. Now, because we have that Sasquatch package, you're going to get the advanced four-wheel drive system. It's going to add that 4A, and that 4A is a four-wheel drive automatic. It'll basically take itself in and out of four-wheel drive depending on the slippage that the system detects. So if you're in maybe snowy conditions or in sleet or rain, and the system is able to shift into two-wheel drive, it does it by itself. Maybe to prevent wear. It's great to have that. And you have also your goat mode select, so you can actually twist this dial and that'll go ahead and change the different drive modes, which is really cool. So you can go ahead and change these up, and it'll change the four-wheel drive system. It'll also change the throttle mapping and the transmission shifts, just depending on the terrain that you're on. Now, what's really cool about the Sasquatch package is these additional buttons right here. You have a front and rear locking differential. Again, really cool piece of technology that is going to be included with that Sasquatch package. It's really, definitely reserved for more off-road situations, but it's great to have those. You also have that trail turn assist. That's going to be automatic transmission only, and of course your traction control. So there's nice little switches there. Ford calls these the hero switches, which is pretty cool. So, and these are all rubberized. They're waterproof. Just like a lot of the buttons on the steering wheel, all waterproof and meant to get wet and dirty. Right in the middle here is your window switches and mirror controls. Again, earlier you do have your just the locks here on the door to eliminate a lot of the typical wires that would be going to the door because they're removable. Ford moved those switches right here to the center. Lots of space in the middle. This is also lockable, which is great, especially because the doors come off. So having some lockable storage in there in the glove box as well. Having the lockable storage is always amazing to have.